Rail fares for season tickets and other regulated fares have risen nearly 3 times faster than wages over the last 5 years, according to new analysis published on August 18th by the UK Trade Union Congress or TUC and the Rail Union's Action for Rail campaign. The analysis showed that between 2010 and 2015, fares increased by 25%, while average pay went up by just 9%.
You could justify it if we had the best rail service in Europe, but we don't. We have one of the worst, and so you kind of they say, oh, it's going on track improvements and stuff like that, but as a consumer, you don't really see that. You don't see any improvements on the trains, and we're kind of promised these things on a regular basis, and we're told this is why the tickets are going up, but we really don't see the benefit, I don't feel.
We think the key reason behind the rise in fares and the fact that fares have outstripped wages is because Britain has a privatised, fragmented, failing rail system. We're the only country in Western Europe that runs its railways in the private sector. And at a time when fares are rising, the reality is that hundreds of millions of pounds are being lost every year, leaked out of the system, going to dividends to the private companies that run Britain's railways. So we think Britain's model of privatised railways is broken. The government needs to think again about the value of public ownership and bringing the railways back into public hands.
The British government has announced plans to cap annual increases in regulated rail fares at retail price index measure of inflation for this Parliament. However, the public will finance the fare cap through paying their taxes. The capping of rail fares could cost taxpayers around £700 million over the next 5 years, according to Department for Transport figures. The TUC says that far bigger savings could be passed on to passengers if services were run by the public sector. Research commissioned by Action for Rail shows that £1.5 billion could be saved over the next 5 years if routes including the Northern, Transpennine and West Coast Main Line were returned to the public sector.